viewers, we are live and getting some big updates coming in. UK PM has now announced a relaunch of free trade agreement negotiations with India following a productive bilateral meeting with Indian PM Modi in Rio. So this is a very big update coming in. The decision to resume talks comes after a stalemate in discussions during Rishi Sunak's tenure, with both leaders expressing optimism about advancing economic ties. PM Modi described the meeting as highly productive, signaling a renewed commitment to enhancing trade relations between the two countries. Okay, we're getting this big update coming in right now. This is a very, very huge movement. That means a relaunch of the free trade agreement negotiations with India. That is what we are learning of on Republic TV, where we are learning that there is a big update coming in. UK PM meets PM Modi in Rio, announces the relaunch of free trade agreement talks. Very big development. This is following the meeting between PM Modi and the UK PM. And remember that this happened in Downing Street, the last meeting before the G20. And there the UK said that they would seek a new strategic partnership with India, including a trade agreement as well as deepening cooperation in areas such as security, education, technology and climate change. So that is what we are learning of right now. PM Modi took to social media to describe the exchange as extremely productive. And the Ministry of External Affairs said the bilateral meeting has infused fresh impetus to India-UK comprehensive strategic partnership. All right, viewers, let's move ahead right now because remember, G20 is on the sidelines of G20 Summit in Rio. Prime Minister Narendra Modi held multiple bilateral meetings with India's focus on strengthening global partnerships. In his meeting with Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, now two leaders discussed the key areas of cooperation, including defense, security, trade, and technology. Modi also met with the Indonesian President, where they have explored ways to enhance bilateral ties in security and healthcare. So this is a big update coming in right now on Republic TV, where we're learning all these updates coming in. Now remember, it's a very, very successful visit of the Prime Minister, G20 Summit, where not just PM Modi is having bilaterals on the side, but the Brazil leader's declaration has been adopted at the G20 Summit. I want to go straight across to my colleague joining us, Abhishek Kapoor, a senior executive editor joining us on the phone line. Abhishek, you know, the G20 declaration, very, very big step. And many issues, global issues such as hunger, poverty, they are being looked at in this declaration which has been adopted. Abhishek.
Well, yes, and that's G20 agenda, so broadly focusing on hunger and poverty this time, but otherwise also G20 is a grouping which accounts for 85% of the global GDP, among 75% of the global GDP, about 60% of the world population, and that really gives you an idea of the kind of heft the organization has. So, of course, how much of these deliberations really contribute to actual action on the ground is something which is being discussed of late, Shivangi, just as in the case of United Nations, which has become very unwieldy. So it happens in the case of the G20 now, and that's why you are seeing smaller multilateral groupings. So far as India is concerned, I think what is important is that the bilateral that took place about half a dozen of them, and those are something where you can see some India push. So, for example, restart of the talks for a free trade agreement between India and the United Kingdom. This was the first meeting between Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Keir Starmer. And then, of course, on the sidelines, the very important meeting that took place between External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and Chinese counterpart Wang Yi. I think those are going to be more important so far as India is concerned. In the bilateral that took place between India and Italy, there was a discussion on joint strategic action plan for the next 5 years, beginning 2025, and a defense industrial roadmap action plan thrashed out when Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Meloni met on the sidelines of the summit. So I think in that sense, it's an important diplomatic event panning out for India. But the G20 declaration, of course, yes, some move forward. It was expected that maybe there would be some more decisive direction insofar as tapering off of the two conflicts in Europe and the Middle East are concerned. Not happening, it seems.